Hello, everyone, and I am here. I have not done a modding stream for quite a while, so I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Uh, we have here is we're going to be working on my leather crafting. Now, I haven't worked on my mods like major content creation wise for quite a while, honestly, and my mods have kind of fallen into a little bit of a I wouldn't say a state of disarray, but there are problems with it. My leather crafting right now has one of the largest problems. It has a major bug with the drying process. Now, I did see some comments in chat, and I'll address them in just a second, but I just wanted to talk about what we're doing today. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be trying to fix the drying frame, but we're also going to be making sure that the thing that I have been working on actually is fully properly working, and then we're going to see if I can then move on to some of the other bugs that I've had reported to me. If all goes well, we should be able to fix the bugs and move on to actually creating things. Now, a lot of modders who do stream their modding stuff like to show you the cool content creation process, but I know it's sometimes boring, but honestly, a lot of the time, you're going to be bug fixing. You're going to have this great idea in your head, like, I don't know, you're going to want to make lollipops pop out of people's butts every time they die. I don't know. Just for instance. And you're going to find out that not only is it difficult to get that to happen, but then you're going to find out that yeah, you got it to work, but guess what? Now every time you take damage, a lollipop pops out of your butt, and not only when you die, so you're all like, why is that happening? And you gotta figure it out. So I am here to try to show you folks that modding is a lot of fun for DayZ. There's a lot of cool things you can do for it, but it's also filled with a lot of frustrations. Forgive me. So it's good to know that there are frustrations in DayZ modding, and life is going to essentially suck. Now, I did not check. Yeah, I'm on ultra low latency. When it comes to modding, but one of the things you have to do is persevere, and you have to make sure you always look for outside help if you feel that you can't figure it out. Like for me, I can honestly say I was working on Mark's container mod for a long time now. It's been almost 8 months now. I've been working on it, and bless Mark's heart, he's always trying to help me and to keep me going. But I've run into a lot of problems with it, and I, being stubborn, haven't reached out for much help. I did ask Red Falcon to help me, and he has agreed to help me with that. But my overall point here is that even people like me, who have been modding for the past 4 years, still need help. And by no means do I consider myself an amazing modder either way. But I just want to talk about that. So let's go ahead and read the comments real quick. First, we have JC. I've been messing around for the last week with FBX files and making them P3Ds. My major struggle are mass geometry, understanding RV maps, entering and exiting buildings, etc. Almost everything. LOL. Yeah, that can be hard. Now, one of the things I can tell you is that as long as you follow, when it comes to geometry, the rule of DayZ, which is the simpler it is, the better it is, and you keep things all interconnected like squares and triangles for the geometry, you can make the geometry in Blender. Now, what you do in Blender, so let's say you have a complex house, you can make all of the geometry components in Blender. And then what you do is then you just export those components as a solo FBX. So what you do is you open up your object builder and you load in, let's say, the house that you're working on, right? You can open up a secondary instance of object builder that's blank, and you can import the FBX geometry from Blender into there, right? Model. And what you do is you just copy it from the object builder that has the geometry that you made in Blender, and then you just select it all, Control C, and then you can Control V it into your geometry node for your main house. That's the best way I can tell you to be able to mass produce geometry, because Object Builder sucks when it comes to creating vertices and any kind of model configurations. So if you can make the geometry in Blender, all you have to do is just open up a separate instance of Object Builder when your main instance of Object Builder is a P3D you're working on, and just import the geometry model into there, copy and paste it over. And that's how I would do it. There are other ways of doing it, but I'm not very versed in those. Next question. Sir Pottermore, are there any ways to write automation tests for that? Kinda auto test recipes, actions, etc. There are definitely, but you'll find out that sometimes the tests are very inconclusive. So one of the things, it depends on how good you are at writing automation, by the way. But one of the things that I like to do is when I'm doing my recipes, there is inside recipes, I can actually show you right here. In the recipes, there is actually a thing called instant recipe. Now, you can also do this in just debug itself, but if you set your recipe to true, and let's say you don't know how to do debug tools, you can make it so recipes are instantly done. And that tells you that that recipe actually works. Now, you can do other things, like you could easily, just put print statements inside of your stuff. So, like, override void initialize, you can just go here and push enter, and you can type a print, and then you can go like this, and you can be all like, recipe is loaded and ready. So what this does is it prints inside of your scripts.log, and it pretty much allows you to go into your scripts.log, search for what you just put here, and if that prints, you can be awesome. So, like, if I wanted to have multiple recipes, I would just take the name of the recipe, right? So create dirty grass mask, right? So when this printed inside my scripts log, all I would have to do is search for, dirty grass mask recipe, and it would pull it up, and that would tell me that all of my recipes are working. Print logs are really useful. There's also other logs like backtrace logs and all that kind of stuff that you can get from like CF Tools or other things. But it's important to note that automation of testing is great, but as far as I found as a modder, manually doing things is always the best. I have joked about actually paying someone like $100 a month to spend, like, I don't know, 10 hours, like up to 10 hours a month just bug testing my mods. Like, I would literally pay them to break my mods. But it wouldn't be just them playing my mod and breaking my mod and being all like, "Oh, this broke," whatever. It would be they would break my mods. They would then tell me how they did it. They would tell me how to reproduce it, what environments, blah 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 blah. Like, they would really help me out, because that's one of the toughest things I have as a modder. Is I can't test my mods all the time. I can't think of everything people are going to do. I have seen people break my mods in ways I never imagined. And I'm pretty sure the DayZ devs have seen people break their game in ways they never imagined would happen. But that's why outside testing is so important. Because you really want people to do that. I know sometimes bug tests can look like most modders are frustrated by it, but the reason why they're frustrated is that they missed it. They didn't predict it. They couldn't predict it, and that's the truth of modding, and even just development overall. It's very hard to predict. So yeah. No, give me a quick second, folks. I actually just just saw something. All right, there we go. Chat GPT, fix your mod. I was actually thinking about that the other day, and I know we're a little bit of a conversation piece mode, but who cares? So the way ChatGPT works, and I kind of want to pull the veil back on this ugly monster, is that a lot of people think ChatGPT is like the end all say all. ChatGPT works based off of the law of averages. It's not a true machine learning algorithm. It works off of the data it's given. Now, I actually have read, and my roommate actually told me about this, that his friend's mother set up a Discord bot that had ChatGPT algorithms inside of it, right? But the database that her Discord bot worked off of was the King James Bible. Now, I'm not religious. I don't care about the fact that it's a Bible. But the fact is it only could work off of the King James Bible. That was its only database. So when people were in our Discord asking questions, it would respond with verses and templates and other things from the King James Bible because that's all it ever had. Which got me thinking, what if a group of modders got together and made a database for DayZ code? Now think about this. In ChatGPT, one of the problems with ChatGPT right now is... Actually, I can show you one of the problems with ChatGPT. Give me a second. Okay, so we have our ChatGPT here. And if I go over to, let's say, my P drive, and then we go to leather crafting, assets, drying rack, right? Oops, my bad. We want to go to scripts, for world, and then we go to my drying rack, right? So if I go to my drying rack and I tell it to take this, where is it? There it goes. Okay, so I go fix this for me and make it more streamlined. And then what I do is I paste that in and I tell it to do something. So what is going on here is that it is looking at what I gave it, but it doesn't necessarily understand what the void actually does. So my code is up here, and it says slot name, and it goes up here, and it says that it removed the end slot name. Yeah. But that's because ChatGPT, folks, does not know DayZ code. DayZ code, as far as I know, is a combination of C#, C++, and C, which means that ChatGPT takes this and goes, I don't know what to do with it. But further on, what also happens is it doesn't understand the logic behind the code. So think of yourself as ChatGPT. And you can think of yourself as a person as well, and it still applies. When you look at code for the first time learning how to code for DayZ, let's say you have no coding experience. Actually, let's say you have amateur coding experience. DayZ's code is confusing because it uses what's called the object-oriented programming method, and it uses inheritance and a bunch of other things. I hate where the new emoji things are. I tried Affinity Fusion, and it was basically like, copyright, blah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah. So, when I tell it to fix override void EE item attached, it has no clue what the original void for EE item attached does. It doesn't. It can't know because it doesn't have the database. So my idea here was, what if we made a database for DayZ modders? You could literally go into the database and type in, if write me a if statement to make sure that the temperature of item A doesn't go over 200 while making sure that item B is still attached if the item is over item A is over 200 degrees. And it could be all like, cool, here's the DayZ database, here's all of its information. This is what they asked me to do. Okay, cool. I know what item A is, I know what item B is, voila. And you could print out a code structure and be all like, here you go. And I could be all like, awesome sauce. But unfortunately, until that is made, I would highly suggest not using ChatGPT. Now, there are cool things you can do with it. Let me pull it back up real quick. One of the things I like to do with ChatGPT is I like to look for what's called logic errors. So I could do is I could copy this. So let's say I make a mathematical problem, right? Go back to our ChatGPT. Okay, sorry, I was responding to something. So if I go to ChatGPT and go, I'm writing a I'm writing in C++. If no, so I do is I first go I equals 0. Okay, so this is establishing that int I equals 0. Now, if you don't know what int is either it is a whole number, right? Starts from 0, goes all the way up to whatever. And then what I can do is I can go void count up, right? Then we give it to those brackets. We do this, and then we go in here, and then we go. So we go I plus plus. This is me telling it to count upward, and then I can go if brackets I, or sorry, I equal 10. Then what I can do is I can then go down here and go brackets, enter. No, 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 no. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay. So I messed up on that. Give me a quick second while I fix this. So if I go I equal 10, and then I go here, and then I know, enter this, and then I go, if I equal 10, we go I minus minus. Oops. I minus minus. Right? And then we lock it. Now what I can do here is I can then go, I can then delete this, go down here, and I can do a else statement. Now, if you don't know what a open else statement is, it pretty much just means that if it isn't 10, do this instead. And I can do I minus minus. So this is technically a logic error, right? So now what I can do is it tells me all of this information and whatever. What I could do is I could take this and then check for logic error, right? And then what I could do is let me show the thing. Okay, so this is what it did for me, folks. As you can see here, it goes, I told it to check for logic errors. And it goes, sure, let's check for logic errors with the code you provided. It goes, the count up function is missing a return type. In C++, if a function does not return anything, you should specify the return void as the return type as a void. So the signature function should be void count up, right? So that doesn't mean anything to me because I don't need to return anything instead of a void, right? Incorrect usage of assignment of the if statement, you're a single equal sign, which is assignment. So it's telling me right here I should have a double equal sign because yes, I should. And then it says they'll always assign 10 to the I, and the condition will evaluate true, causing I to be decremented, and the intent to unnecessary I in the else block. The else block should be a not a detriment, which is counting down, of I, because it's already detriment in the previous line. It should be removed. After fixing the issue, this is what it gets. So this is what it tells me to do. So it found there was a logic error in it. Because the reason why there was a logic error is because every time I ran the count up, it would count up I1. So it would become I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, I equals 4, right? And when it reached 10, it was supposed to count down. However, every time it counted up, if it didn't equal 10, it would always count down, which meant I would always equal 0. It would never count up. It could never count up. It just was not possible. So it's cool to use this to check for logic errors or possible problems. Or you could even be like, what is a void? And it tells you what a void is. And it gives you examples of what a void can do. Now, this is useful information for beginning scripters inside of DayZ. You can be all like, why does a bool need a true why does we can go why does a int not use decimals? So it tells you why an integer can't use decimals. It tries to explain to you better how to do this. This is the beauty and the power of ChatGPT. But it's a tool. Remember, folks, this is a tool. And like any other tool out there, you have to check its work. You are the end all say all. When somebody uses a saw to cut a piece of lumber, they still check it. That's why most automated places have people who still check the product as it's coming down the assembly line, because they know that there are faults in the machinery and there are faults in people. So when you have machinery and people working together, you get a pretty damn good product. And I see I just saw somebody. I use ChatGPT for mapping stuff like XML, JSON, gear aliasing, mapping, and for generating simple stuff on top of 10 popular language ideas. It can write simple SQLs. You can provide a table scheme, but do not think they're well optimized. That's not real. That's just a language. Before ChatGPT, we had ZMag, the Discord information go. Yes, we did. Okay, let's actually get into what we're doing. You guys will be the first ones. You guys are going to be the first ones to actually see what new thing I've been working on in the background. I hope you guys are excited for this. So I'm just going to open this tab. Now I use debug tools all the time because why not? But I'm gonna switch to the full screen because I think we've been in chat mode for too long. You guys ever get sick of seeing my ugly face? Let me know, and I will just laugh at you. I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's so many uses for ChatGPT. I don't know them all. I just am showing some simple stuff out there. I just installed Linux again. Oh, I am praying for you. I'm praying for you. All right, we're loading in. I don't actually really like these hints, these little things. All right, so this is what we gotta fix, but kind of wanted to show you guys. So let's go ahead and go over here. We're gonna throw that down. So I have made masks. I've been telling people I've been going to make these for a while, and I finally am going to do it. So what you do is you take a leather sewing kit plus one piece of leather, and you can create a full mask. Now, once you create a full mask, you can use the dirty plant fiber or guts to change the texture of this, right? So right now we have that's the mask, right? And then if I put it on me, you can see it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So I have made the mask pretty well adhered to the player, just to show you how well it is. Um, like you can't even get into. You can barely get in there. You see how there's not much of a difference there, right? And don't worry, folks, it works well on the guy too. But what's cool about it is that, let's say you don't want a full leather mask. What you can do now is you can take your knife and you can cut part of it off, and it gives you a half mask. Now you don't get anything for cutting this off. There is no return leather or anything. It's just you discarding the extra leather. So now it can look like that, right? I mean, think about how intimidating this looks. Isn't that just damn creepy? Like I don't care who you are. If I saw this in the middle of the night, I would probably be scared. But I'm biased. Yes, there are stitches. You can barely see them, but I did put stitches in this mask, and those are real stitches, by the way. They're modeled stitches. They're not just. Um, it's so dark. What do you mean? It looks like leather. Is my screen dark? Okay. Um, but then you can cut it further down. I might turn on my music again, just so you guys don't get too. So go ahead and look at this. It's so dark. Oh, do you mean like it's like evil dark looking, or are you talking about the texture? But this is the last. This is the last layer of it. As you can tell, the top strap is gone. There's a little bit of clipping right there. I might fix that later, but that's what it looks like. So again, you can do all three different versions of this. So I'll show you guys here in a second. Let's go to our masks. And what we can do is we can go LT underscore mask clothing. So we have the plain leather, we have the half plain, and then we have the full plain. Then we have the bloody, the half bloody, that one. And then we have our dirty, dirty, and now what's cool about this, folks, is I created again smart recipes. I love smart recipes. Um, if you don't know what a smart recipe is, it just is as a recipe that replaces multiple recipes by using proper code logic to do stuff. So, you already saw these masks. This is the bloody one. So, let's go ahead and actually, before we do that, let's actually spawn the corresponding jacket. We'll throw that there. Take that. So this is what the bloody one and this look like. So you get that, and then if we put this on there, that's what it looks like. And then we put this one on there. That's what that looks like. Now I probably will change the sizes of these, so like the small one isn't as big. So like this one will always be probably this big, and then the half one will be 4, and then the smallest one will be just a 2x2. But yeah, isn't that cool though? I have to be honest, folks. The half mask is my favorite. I think the full mask is really cool because like it really covers you well, but the half mask is amazing. I you can't wear hats with this. I don't believe. I'll have to check on that. How many humans do you need for a full suit? You don't need humans for a full for a suit at all. Um, you can just wear whatever you want. So I believe, yeah, I believe you can wear helmets with this stuff. So yeah, you know, you can be all creepy. Uh, make people feel very uncomfortable around you and stuff. But let's go ahead and take a look at the dirt one. Okay, so here's the full dirt suit. You take plant material and you combine it with you look at the ground and you combine it with dirt and it makes dirty material. Pretty cool looking, huh? And what's cool is like oops, sorry, meant to grab those. So like if I put my character right here and then so you can see them pretty well from this distance. But then like, you know, if I put the real one on, it becomes harder and harder to see them. Like honestly, kind of the purpose of this is to actually be camouflage. Why the rib cage so big on the jacket? I don't know. It's not my jacket. It's the developer's jacket. I think it was kind of modeled after the MS-65. Yeah, I think the stomach is further in. Yeah, I can always tell there's a zombie lady in there. Because ever wanted to know what's inside people's stomach, it's a zombie. But yeah, that's what I've been working on in the background. Pretty cool, huh? Should give it a 6 pack. Yeah, there you go. Make it like a Roman Gladius thing. I do like the grassy one. Yeah, they are nice. I like the half masks one's the best. They're all really creepy. Okay, so we need to get this to actually stop having issues. So let's go ahead and fix this issue. We're gonna open up Workbench. because this actually does have the entire database there. It just doesn't have any AI. Come on, load up. You know you want to. So I am working on making it so you can waterproof your clothing. I just need to finish out some stuff. It's not ready for show and tell yet, but once I get it working, I'd be happy to show all of you uh, the new thing. All right, let's see here. Void unlock. Unlock equal false. Okay. Well, let's just see if we can get it to unlock no matter what. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna change this to lock, and we're gonna change this to like 10 seconds, right? And then I'm gonna get rid of this. We're gonna pack it, smack it, and test it. That's what I say when I pack stuff and test it out. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, though. All right. Okay. See what's gonna happen. Should unlock. If it doesn't, then I think the frame is totally busted. Hmm. This this drawing rack's giving me a lot of issues. Thank you guys very much for the likes so far. I really appreciate that. Also, oh yeah, there you go. It's unlocked. However, there is a pelt attached to it. So let's go ahead and make sure that it doesn't actually do that. Okay, let's try it again. I don't have enough garden lime. That's what it is. Put that over there. Honestly, we should look at making it so the garden that you have to have enough garden lime. That wouldn't be a bad thing for us to actually do. Okay, so now it's starting to tan. Uh, we'll give it a couple of seconds, and then we'll shut it down, and then restart the server to see if it unlocks on server restarts. Because that's the problem right now is that people are able to attach it and it auto completes or whatever, um, which is problematic. But it also was locking permanently for some people. I think what some people were saying, if I can go look at this real quick, bug report wise. We are working Dimension on just fixing some bugs and stuff. Welcome in, guys. Folks, Dimension 119 is the guy who usually plays on the podcast with us. If you guys saw us playing last Thursday, he was the one who was constantly running away from all the fights. Sorry, Dimension, but the truth is the truth. Um, well, let's see here. Yes, I have a problem. After assembling the frame and place the peeled skin and garden crap in it, it starts sanding the skin itself and does not block the slots. After she's worked for the first time, two things happen here. She does not get the skin from the slot, or everything starts working normally, and the second insert skin already offers the start of tanning. In any case, I need your help with this. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's been tanning for a minute. I have the normal config stuff set for how long this is going to take to tan. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this, and then we're going to boot it back up. Okay. But yeah, Dimension, we just got done showcasing the leather masks and everything, and I was able to talk to some nice people and stuff. Now, I will be honest, folks, I have been thinking about how to draw in new members to the YouTube channel because I am light YouTube partnered or whatever it's called. But I actually have been thinking about it, and I might make it so. Um, okay, perfect. So it automatically tanned the leather. Um, so here is the issue. This is the main issue I am seeing here. Um, is my get pelt base? I don't think actually applies here. Um, yeah. So technically, all of the pelts, I believe, inherit off of the same thing. Let's go ahead and double check this, right? So we go to our config CPP here, and then where is it? It's leather holster. There's the leather shoes. That's the stuff I made for the thing. Assets. Pelt changes right here. Okay, let's see here. Pelt base. Okay, cleaned pelt base is the thing. So if that's the clean pelt base, then all of those should inherit off of that. But the problem is they're not. So if I want my um if I want this to work, I think I need to make an array to check for class names. So what I could do is I could ask ChatGPT about how to make an array. Right? What an array does, folks, if you don't know, is an array allows you to have multiple instances of names, one after another, and it pretty much goes through all of those names to check for something. Um, but I could technically just say that no matter what, it will lock for approximately, uh, you know, 60 seconds. Or no, my bad. I could just tell it to lock for 180 seconds upon the server start. What that would do is that after the server restarted, it would still take 3 minutes no matter what for the pelt to go. What I could further do is I could create my own true lock time by doing this. So I could go time left is the time to tell tan pelt. Go ahead and check where this is. Yeah, so I could go up here and go to the time to tan pelt is the int time left remaining. Then I could go here and I could say that this was divided by. No, I can go here and go. So I could go here and then I can go time. Oh, sorry. Uh, let's do a int and say remaining check time equal time left tanning divided by 2 and go like this. So now what will happen is I have to actually fix this too. So I could do this, and what this does is it goes, hey, the server just got done restarting, right? Let's say a person has a deer pelt on it. It takes 2 minutes. It takes was it 5 minutes? Let me double check something here real quick, folks. DayZ, OP mission, Trinaris. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Profiles, leather making. So it takes 200 seconds per tan thing. So it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah. So if this is so if someone were to tan, let's say a bear pelt, that's 33 minutes times. Either way, we'll just change this to 180 just to be sure. So it's 33 minutes. Now, if the server restarts during that time, this would lock the frame for 16 minutes. So, for example, if you put a bear pelt on there, and let's say 30 minutes have passed, when the server restarts, yes, it's going to take 16 minutes for the thing to relock, but it's going to then but it's going to only be 16 minutes to wait. Now, I could divide this like by 3 or maybe 4. I could change it to a float, but that would make it so people can't game the system. So one of the things I'm worried about is people literally attaching pelts on a server restart and then just popping out tan leather like crazy. They still have to be on when the server restarts and everything else, but you would be amazed the lengths people go through to game a system. And if you're server owners in here, you probably know the things people will do to game a system. So let's go ahead and try that. So let's go with let's see here. 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna change this to 10 seconds. And we're gonna go with the wild boar pelt, right? So clean wild boar pelt. Throw that on there. Eventually, one day, I will make it so, based off of the hide's texture, this texture here will change, but that will be neither here nor there. Okay, so it's starting to tan. The profile stuff hasn't taken effect yet. However, when I shut down the server and reboot it back up, it should be so that's 60 seconds divided by 10 times 6 is 60 seconds. So with this math, it should be 30 seconds for before it actually tans. So I'm going to pull up my timer here and my stopwatch actually, and then we're going to restart the server now. So as soon as I load in, uh, or as soon as the server boots up and I load in, I will start my timer and we'll see how fast it happens. All right. Mind you, folks, I don't think this is the most elegant way to solve this problem, but it is a solution to the issue. And, if you folks are here, feel free to ask questions. I have. Oh, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? No! I forgot to pack. No, I forgot to pack it. That's okay. It's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. I will say my disclaimer, though, folks. I cannot know anything. I do not claim to know everything, and I can't know everything. So please understand if I give you information and that information has some issues, do understand I am not the most perfect modder in the world. Okay, so let's smack it, pack it, and try it. Ionizing. Also, folks, if you've never checked out Dimension 119, you like tabletop RPGs, him playing the random games like Metro or Phasmophobia, or watch a really old video of him eating ghost grilled burrito things with his girlfriend way back when. There are plenty of things for you folks to go over and look at. But the build is successful, so let's go ahead and boot this up. If I get an error, I get an error. No error. All right, guys. I have my thing set. I'm pretty sure you guys can barely see it. As soon as it loads up, I'm gonna hit that start button. Second. Okay, we're loading in. I don't know if the numbers are crossed for you guys. So that was 18 seconds. Um, Honestly, that's okay. Um, that's totally fine with me. But it was 18 seconds, and we got the 6 leather. I think we have a fix for it, folks. It's a temporary fix. I do want one day to save the time left and start that time again. I really do. That is my goal one day, to make it so it's seamless. But this is what we have for now. Okay, let's see. Is there any other bugs I have on here that I need to possibly tackle? I have reactions to this stuff. Um, I use reactions on my bug thing to actually figure stuff out. The other duper's mad. um, one thing I know a lot of people have begged me for is I think it's the water pouch. Like, I'm not even sure if this actually properly works. Yeah, it does. Let's go ahead and see if let's test it out real quick. That's actually how broken the system is, guys. Or the whatever. All right, so let's try this out. Okay, so there's that. I wonder how much the water bottle actually holds. Um, volume wise. Let's see here. So DayZ, gear, consumables. Oh, it's not consumables. It's containers, right? Waterproof bag, teddy bear. No, not there either. Is it? Is it in the food area? Mackerel, pepper. Hey, Big Jonah. And you said drinks. There you go. Okay. So let's go ahead and see here. Vodka. So it holds a total of 1,200, and the water bottle holds. So it's 250 more water. I am totally okay with that. Let's go ahead and just make it craftable. Um, it's not too hard to make craftable. Yeah, it's really easy to do. All right, so we'll put that in there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Size of this? Maybe two pieces of leather to make one of these? Yeah, I think two pieces of leather to make one of these isn't a bad option. I mean, the leather is pretty big. Eh, I'll think about it for a second here. Okay. So one thing I want to do is I actually want to go over here and I want to go to our masks real quick and I want to actually change the so we want the full leather mask to be big, but we don't want the so we'll go to our item size here. Copy. So the half leather mask here, we want it to be actually a 2x2, right? And then this one, we want it to be a go 1x2 here. Actually, let's go back up here. Yeah, you don't need to be there. Half leather mask. Okay. We'll close this down because we don't need workbench right now. And then we'll close that down. We don't need that. We don't need that. Yes, we want to reload it. Don't need this. What we're going to do here is we're going to actually go up here and we're going to create this. I'm going to put a space in between it just so we can know stuff real quick. Okay, so let's go to our recipes. scripts for world, and we're going to go to the actual other crafting recipes. And where is it? Leather making right here. I like to put the vanilla things inside vanilla recipes because why not? Um, and then we're going to go all the way to the bottom. Okay. So first, before we go too far, let's go ahead and open up our drinks again. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to double check in DayZ code. I use grepling. You can use whatever you want. But there it is there. There is no recipe for making it right now. Okay, so because there is no recipe for making it, then we will just make our own. Boom. And then we're going to say it only requires 2 leather. And then we're going to tell it to -2 leather. It's going to create that. This is return true. We don't want it to do anything. And then what we do is we just go create, what is it called? Water pouch. So craft water pouch. And then we're going to actually foolproof it and say 101. So a lot of times when I have learned from my modding is that people like to name things very similar to each other. I found this out with my door barricades a while ago and my window barricades. It can cause problems, so I try to name my stuff very uniquely. I'm not always perfect about it. I do make mistakes. One thing I will say that I'm very adamant about is when I'm working my config.cpp, I name my things very specially. Because it's very difficult to for folks who don't know about modding. If you change the name of a config CPP entry, you delete the item if you don't keep the old name inside of there. So what a lot of times what modders will do is they'll give like a grace period. I've done it before myself with my actually building modifications. Exactly, I updated my building modifications to have a new hey Z Bad Mice to have a new config.cpp entry class for my window barricades and my door barricades. I renamed it a BF underscore window barricade, BF underscore door barricade. And that was because it was clashing with another mod. And I told people they had a week to change over to the new classes for their players because I was deleting the old class window barricades, class door barricades. And honestly, I think that's more than an acceptable way to actually treat people, treat server owners. If server owners are too lazy to spend a week helping their players get going, get things fixed and stuff, then why should you, a modder, have to adhere to what they have to do? Sounds mean, but it is honest and truthful. Okay, so let's go ahead and smack it, pack it, and test it, and see what happens. I think somebody said that boots go invisible. I have to check that out. All right, no errors. That's good. Ooh, something smells good downstairs. It smells like hamburger helper. All right, we'll be in just a second. Okay. So, throw this on the ground. I think there's a sewing kit somewhere around here. Oh, just a full disclosure, folks. Um, you have to actually smear the blood or the dirt on the full mask before you can get the masks below it. This is to stop a bunch of recipes from being needed. All right. So leather crafting kit. Okay, so leather sack, full mask, sawed-off holster, pistol holster, chest holster, leather vest, shoes, pouch, pants. Uh, so I might rename it to be something different because I don't think I actually changed the name, did I? Ah, see, craft leather vest. Okay, so just to test this because I don't think there's anything that only uses two uh things, unless I'm wrong, but yeah. All right. I forgot to change the display name of the recipe. Oops. And I also think it's going to spawn with a full water bottle. Nope, it didn't spawn anything. Okay, let's just test, check everything out. I think I know what I did wrong. So, I don't think it has a scope. It doesn't have a scope. For those of you who don't know, if it doesn't have a scope, it can't be spawned. What's it called? Do I already have a recipe for this? It's looking like I might. Let's go ahead and check something out real quick. I do. Wait a minute. Well, oops. So this was all wasted. Heck. Oh, I'm so silly. I am so silly. Let's go ahead and call this let's call this fluid pouch because I was confused too when I saw pouch. I was all like, "Oh, did I make actually leather pouches the other day?" And then I realized, no, I didn't. My bad. Okay, so in total, let's see how many recipes I actually have. I have 38 recipes. It's definitely quite a bit of recipes. Um, what I should do, and what I'll actually show you guys a little bit about this. So, have you guys ever wondered how they make armbands? Like, for example, if we go craft armband. Oh yeah, that's why you're not working. Scripts, armband. Is it craft armband? That's my mistake again. So if you ever wanted to know why how the armband system works, there's only one recipe. Why is that? Well, armbands work off of a color system. So, armbands, for example, work off of a color base. So, if I go to my thing, I'll show you guys here in just a quick second how this works. Is a gear. Actually, before I get into this, do you guys actually want to know how they have one recipe to craft all the colored armbands from raincoats and from flags? I think Darkwing Tate is in. Anybody else? Any other takers? Because I'm not gonna go through the trouble of explaining it if you guys aren't or you guys don't want to know right now, and I can just move on to other cool stuff. Okay, cool. So, armbands work off of what's called a color system. It's a built-in system they put into DayZ for recipes. This is a pretty cool system because it is kind of the basic foundations of what I call smart recipes. Smart recipes at their core are nothing more than taking like 20 recipes and condensing it into one recipe. The reason why I call it a smart recipe is because the recipe is able to acknowledge that there are other external parameters outside the recipe that it can fetch to make it so that one recipe can create those original 20 recipes. Now, the reason why this matters is because we all know, or most of us eventually find out, whether server owners or modders, there is a script limit in DayZ. The more code and the more scripts you put into your mods, the higher chance there is going to be your mod is going to be the mod that finally makes that script limit get hit. So smart recipes can reduce stuff down. For example, my ammo making mod has smart recipes in it, and now instead of over 100 recipes, I'm now down to I think like 24 recipes. You can imagine how much script area that saves for people. So the way that these work is that there are certain variables you have to look into. So we're going to take a look at the variable in the very beginning. So when you are working with this situation, what you have is you have what's called a raincoat underscore color base. Then you have raincoat underscore orange. Then you have green. Then you have yellow. Now they all inherit off of raincoat color base. We all understand what inheritances is, right? Now, the one thing they don't have in the raincoat color base is color equal orange. This doesn't make... Oh yeah, definitely. This color parameter does not exist in color base. However, it exists in all the different colors here. That is because this doesn't actually... this says orange, and this says orange. That is very important for the next steps. Remember that, right? So when you go to here, it says craft armband raincoat. It has the usual parameters. It says that if you interact with a raincoat underscore color base, you can create a armband. If you folks don't know, recipes work off of inheritance. So if you have a bunch of items inheriting off of a core class, all of those items will inherit that recipe, which is sometimes why you see recipes have a very specific item listed instead of it being very that very core class. But then we have all of the items to do it. But right down here, it says then the second ingredient is all the knives, and then down here it says armband underscore, and there's nothing past it. However, if we go to our armbands, which I believe are in where do you find the craft armband raincoats.c? Give me a second. So that's where I find it, right? So our armbands also have colors. And I just try to remember where I find armbands. Is it the same thing? Let's go ahead and mark this. Yeah, it is. Okay, so our armbands also don't have a color, but they do have a color inside of that, right? So here we have armband white, right? And we have armband yellow. So what happens here, and it's very, very simple, honestly, is that when I cut up a raincoat underscore color base, it fetches the not to be scared, but if you don't work, just keep trying. Learning this stuff is all trial and error. It's very true. That is very true. So what you do here is, so if I cut up a raincoat orange, I can do this. Check this out. So if I cut up a raincoat orange, then it will create a armband orange. It's because the recipe is smart and DayZ has put in parameters. So raincoat underscore color base does not exist as a spawnable item. However, because raincoat underscore orange inherits off of that, what it does is it goes, oh, you're cutting up a orange raincoat. Well, I have a armband that is also called orange underscore armband underscore orange, and has the config variable color equal orange. Now, this is cool because you can actually call it anything you want. You can literally say color equal DayZ sucks. And as long as the item that you're, one of the ingredients you're cutting up equals that, you can actually get it out. Now, don't get too excited because there's one last step to make this fully work. You have to mess with the parameters in your results. The parameter that you have to touch is called inherits color. Now, recipes work off of binary, which means that it starts at 0 and goes up. So the first ingredient in your recipe is always ingredient 0, and then your second recipe is always ingredient 1. So in this instance, they say ingredient 0, which is the raincoat underscore color base, is the one that has the color to look for the color variable, which is orange. So that's how that works. If they were to say that the raincoat was the secondary ingredient, they would change this from a 0 to a 1. And voila. So the reason why I'm showing you folks this is with my leather making, you can see right here, this is all the recipes for my masks. However, I have 9 masks. How does that work? Well, this is how it works. What I did is I used the color system on my masks. So my plain mask has the color plain on it, and it's called underscore plain. My dirty masks are called underscore dirty, and they are color dirty. It's very important that the last part of your class name corresponds to the color. If the last part of the class name does not correspond to the color, it does not work. So I took 9 recipes and I squished them into 3 recipes using a full-fledged vanilla mechanic already in the game, folks. If you like to retexture items, but you don't like to create a new recipe for every single item, this is exactly how you do it. Something to note if you work for server owners as retextures, or if you are a server owner yourself who does retextures. Because retextures can make a lot of recipes, and a lot of recipes can take up a lot of scripts, and your server one day may not boot. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so just fun little things that I've learned over, like Ruggers said, trial and error. Okay, so I literally just had a brain fart. Hidden selection materials. Is that what you want to know about next? I'm more than happy to talk to you guys about anything you wish. Just ask it, and I'll tell you whether or not I can explain it. Yep, those are RV mats. Yep. exactly. Okay. Um. Okay, so let's go ahead, smack it, pack it, and test it. Yeah. Sorry if I got quiet. I just talked for quite a bit, so my brain's just like trying to boot back up. It's kind of weird when you talk nothing but DayZ stuff. All right, so how have things been? I feel like I haven't been in one of the streams in a long time. Things have been pretty good, regroup. Things have been pretty good. Hope you won't forgive me, but I do not remember you. I do apologize. Um, yeah, I'm so sorry if I don't remember you. Garrett, I need a lot of help learning how to import 3D models. Currently have a gun model, which I cannot for the life of me get to show in Bulldozer. Hmm. Okay. We'll have to check that out in just a second. So yeah, we're gonna do these leather masks as a 2x1. So that's okay. So we wanted it to be like that. Yeah, I want that to be a 2x1. Well, okay. What is it called? Yeah, you're more than welcome, and I'm more than happy to look at it. Okay, so there is something to be said, folks. Here, I actually kind of want to go over this. So there is, I can't remember the term of it for the life of me. Um, it's better just for me to explain it. All right, so if you're in channel, let me explain to you something about models. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create a mesh, right? Now this is a model. It has 482 surfaces, right? Now in DayZ, it can only handle so many vertices or so many faces. So in our world, there are things that are going in Object Builder. There are these things called indirect normals. I believe that's the correct word for it. So what it means is, let's take for example this right here, this thing right here. That is one face, and the light has to come down, hit that face, and go back to the user. So we're gonna draw Sam here. This is Sam. Hey, Sam. Okay, so I'm more than happy to look at the FBX model. I'm not trying to say don't send it to me, but I'm just explaining to everybody how this kind of works. So this is the light from Sam's eyes. We're going to call that Sam's eyes. Give him a little smiley face. So the light from Sam's eyes have to hit this face, and this face has to return light to Sam. However, what's happening is Sam is getting the stuff from all of these faces constantly when he's looking at this model. So what happens is, or what can happen is, let's say for example, this gets duplicated, and then it gets duplicated again, and then duplicated again. Right? So what's happening here is all of those faces that Sam is looking at, and we'll go right here. All of these faces, this is where Sam's looking at, all of these are now trying to be rendered in front of Sam. And Sam is trying to understand visually all of these faces. Now, in game engines that are older, much like our DayZ engine, we have a very large limit on how many of these faces can actually be sent to the person. So, you ever been inside of the game, and sometimes if you look at something at just the right angle, it goes invisible? Even though, in reality, the model itself is seeable from different angles. Now, I'm not talking about, like, one face. I'm talking about the entire model just goes poof. That is because the model has too many indirect lighting surfaces, and your player or the game engine can't handle sending all that information back to you. A good example of it is Deer Isle. You know that big, huge, womanly statue up in the northern part of the thing? If you go into free cam and look at her at just the right angle, I think underneath her armpit area, she'll vanish completely. And that's because of indirect normal lighting. And it's because the game just can't handle sending that much information to you. So you can actually see that with models like guns and other things happen too. Which is one of the biggest problems that we suffer as modders. Is it's not actually what I would call a readily known piece of information. All right, I'm trusting you, Garrett. If I get a virus from this, I'm not going to be pleased with you. Okay, so he sent me the model. We're going to first open it in Blender just to check it out, because that's how I do things. But that is, and I mean, I also may not be explaining that properly, but that's how I understand it. FBXs are pretty damn safe. So this is the model you have, right? It's only 17,860 Hz. It does have 32,000 faces, though, buddy. that might be part of your issue. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. The file, import FBX. You have a lot of things on here, UV sets, import. All right. Let's assign a texture to this. Just going to give this a nice red because it'll make it stand out. The fact that I have operations in operations starting. Okay, so now here's the real test. What we do here is I pretty much am just going to do this. And yes, I know I just butchered it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so you have some bad normal there, but that's because I cut the gun off. Let's go ahead and do this. Just gonna go over here. Okay, so I can verbally say your gun has too many faces. So I'm going to prove that right here. And I'm going to go to merge near, detect, boom. Still too many faces. Merge near, detect, boom. There you go. So, you have too many faces on your gun. I can't tell you exactly how many faces you need to delete, but you have too many things going on your stuff. You want me to delete the scope? Okay, so they told me to delete the scope. Still too many things. Why don't we go ahead and get rid of whatever this is? Too many. I actually think what I think it is, and I might be wrong here, because that's only 5,000. What I think it is I think it's your I think it's this. No, that's not it. Is it the handle? That's 5,000. Bullets 460. That's. Ooh, it might be the bipod. Let's get rid of the bipod. Barrel's also a lot. Tripod. Should say that's a try-hard. Yeah, you're gonna have to go through, and you're gonna have to optimize this build if you want this gun to work. That's my suggestion. You're gonna have to put this thing in Blender, and you're gonna have to go through, and you're gonna have to take these faces down. Luckily, the gun is very well constructed, but yeah, there are definitely issues to focus that you're gonna have to go through. That's one of the problems with getting guns on, getting models and stuff online, which is why I make a lot of my models and stuff. Is that exactly this. Now you can actually go in here and do a lot with this. I'm just gonna all merge it into one model. And you could easily, go in here and how do you reduce faces in Blender? You just select the entire model, and I like to go merge by distance, and I like to slowly increase it. You can see down here I'm removing vertices. Now, this isn't the best method to do it. I would suggest manually doing this yourself. Um, but you can, get a good idea about the duration to your model. You can also go here and use decimate, but decimate can be kind of tricky. Like, you can see I'm really effing this up. I definitely am not a very big fan of decimate, but merge near is a nice way to like control it, because like I can literally like go here and be all like 0 0 0 0 0 5 5 5 enter, and I could do it way too. Like I think it's like the to the 1 millionth decimal or something like that. Um, but like, yeah, I've already removed 32,000. Now, what I could tell you is if I do Control L and then I separate the shaft, so the entire barrel. Let's go ahead and hide all this. This right here is 12,000 faces. All right, this right here is 27,000. So what in here has has the majority of the faces? So you can actually just go into your wireframe and select it. This has 4,000 faces. Just the bipod alone. Delete that bad boy. This one has 1,000 faces. Okay. The bullet has 852. Yeah, do what the Z Mice guy said. Oh, right here. 9,848 faces in the scope. So between the scope and let's go ahead and bring the tripod back in. So the tripod and the scope, between the tripod and the scope, you have 14,757 faces. If I bring the gun back in, the entire gun is 30,000 faces. So you can see immediately the scope and the bipod are the biggest hoggers of faces. And if we just look at them, like just take a look at them, like they are very cylindrical. They have tons and tons of faces going on here. Like they are, let's go ahead and shade them flat. Now, what's cool about this is inside of here, what you can do if you wanted to, like people are talking about, let's say, for example, you want this scope. It is going to be your scope. What you can do is you can select it and then go to go here. So what you can do is you can select it. You can do new selection. We'll call this blah, 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 blah. And what you can do now is you can go here and go move selection to proxy. Now what this does is it actually creates a proxy for you. I'm going to call this delete me. And I'm going to click OK after this. And voila. Now the scope on my gun is now a proxy. This folks, also takes in all of your LODs and everything else. And what's cool about this is now you can actually see your gun. So, like, no joke. This is your gun, and I can see everything on it. But yeah, don't forget you can always move things to proxy. All right, I'm gonna close this window, and I'm gonna close down that because I really don't care. But yeah, a lot of information to know. But there you go, Garrett. There you go. Now I don't know what that's from, and the fact that like that. Yeah, so just remember when you buy things from like CG trader and stuff, you need to check the vertex count, the face count, stuff like that. There are some really cool things online that you can buy 3D model wise, but man, oh man, some of them are super crazy high poly. And DayZ, I think, can handle up to, I think it's like 30,000 vertices, but most modders never go above 20,000 vertices, and most good modders never go above 15. Um, it's also good to remember, folks, when you're working on your models, 32,000, my bad. It's good to remember, folks, when you're working on your models, think about how often is that model going to be used. So, for example, guns. People like to collect a lot of guns. How rare is the gun going to be? And imagine most server owners don't care about your preferred settings. They're going to crank it up or whatever else. So you need to make sure your guns are optimized. That means making sure that the base gun itself at the at 0.00, which is the highest vertex count it should be, is optimized. And then 1.0 is lower vertex count, and so on and so on. But you just gotta remember, how often is an item going to be used? Like my anvils, I think, are like, I don't know, like 4,000 vertices or something like that for my real nice anvil on my metallurgy forging mod. But I also don't expect there to be like hundreds of those anvils in one area. If a server owner tells me they have that, I can let them know that my mod was specifically designed for this reason. But I still have to keep in mind people don't really care about my default settings, so I still have to optimize my mods as best as I can. Just stuff for you to remember and know. Okay, what was I working on, folks? Oh yeah, I wanted to smack a pack and restart. It's okay if your head explodes. I mean, don't let it explode, but yeah. Um, just remember that, like, learning how to mod for DayZ is definitely a journey. I have been doing it for about... No, I've been doing it for 4 years now. 4 years I have been modding for DayZ. Learning, experiencing, getting better, sucking even worse, getting better again. It takes time to learn these things, and thankfully, a lot of the knowledge that is out there has been trial and error by a lot of people, including myself. And there are a lot less gatekeeping than there used to be, which is nice because it means a lot of people are gaining a lot more knowledge than we had in the past, which is awesome. Um, yes, Darkwing Tate, I have been. Uh, I just keep getting sidetracked. I'm like, I'm really enjoying working on my podcast. I'm really enjoying working on my other stuff. But yeah, uh, it's it's definitely difficult to sometimes move on to stuff. Okay, so I think we need to go in and we need to change the names of stuff. So let's go ahead and do this. So call this a plain leather mask. A plain mask made of leather, while it seemed to be quite held together. You can't but help. You can't help but want to find a chainsaw. Can't help but wonder if people will find you scary. There we go. And let's do it to the so we're just gonna do this because I don't want to I don't want to spend too much time on this. Somehow desire a chainsaw. Yeah, I'll put down there. There we go. Oh, well, I put down the wrong one. Oops. Derpity derp 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 derp. Don't worry, folks. If I don't laugh at myself, you'll laugh at me. All right. So just a little bit. It's just a little bit of humor, folks. Like I don't know. I'm not really looking to go too crazy with this stuff. Okay. So what have you guys been working on? I haven't talked to you in quite a while. Uh, 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 Big Joe. Ever since I helped you with that trading card thing, I haven't heard much out of you. Did this again. Always doing that. I don't know why. Have you been okay? This is kind of another boring part, but that's okay. You folks all like seem like you're modders, so you guys are kind of used to a little bit of boring, aren't you? Oh yeah, people were saying the shoes um, are also invisible. Is what I remember. We'll check out the shoes here in a second. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I've been balling in Maya for the UK map, all new assets. Ooh, nice. Been busy with the farm, but I try to keep on updating the diesel gear mods. I've made up big updates. Oh, nice. Actually, you did tell me that last time I streamed that you were working on the farms. I do apologize for not remembering that. Please forgive me. I mean, you know, it's the UK map. It's just a big island, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Actually, that brings up a fun subject, Z Bad Mice. We're going to be talking about map making tomorrow on our podcast. Now, don't pressure bad mice, okay, folks? We all know what happens when we rush people to show off maps and stuff. One or multiple items have been dropped in your inventory because they couldn't fit inside your inventory. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That's nicer. Yeah, I like that. I like that bit a lot better. All right, let's find out about the possible shoe issue. I thought the trading card would possibly catch some traction, but I think it lost in my flood of other mods on my workshop. I've got much to show. Yeah, that's what they all say. I'm not going to tell anybody. And then they run around and tell everyone, okay, I got those shoes on. Just kidding. I'm just giving you crap because I can. Oh yeah, somebody wanted the shoes to be colored like the rest of the clothing. That'll be a later thing. Okay, well I think honestly this is ready to go. So let's go ahead and pack it to my P drive. First, we're actually going to copy this. But, so what I do, folks, is I actually have a folder in my Steam drive called One Steam. And the reason why I named it One Steam is because it's always at the top of my P drive. And this is where I have all of my things that I pack to the workshop. Or upload to the workshop. So to show you the process I do, folks, when I get ready to possibly push an update. I'm not going to push an update now, but I'll show you guys what I do. So I pack the mod, which will happen in just a second. The trading cards might need a dump grass spotlight. Wink, wink. Oh, maybe. But so I pack the mod to my thing. Now, normally, no, I don't back up the old one because Steam has the ability to revert, so I can just revert it if I need to. So then what I do after that is I go to a tool called DS Utils. Now, you don't have to do this, but I highly suggest you do so. So what I do here is I go to my check signatures, and it brings up this little window. So what I can do here, now I talk about this in my actual tutorial videos about DS Utils, but I'm going to show you guys here. So what I do here is I click on this folder, and then I navigate to my tanning and leatherworking. I click on my keys, I click OK. And then here I navigate to my leatherworking, and I click on my add-ons. Now what this tool is doing is it is verifying that my keys are assigned to the correct add-on, or the PPOs inside my add-ons folder. So when I click verify, what it does is it tells me no error, signature says the path to the PPO, and it says tanning leather crafting by sign is okay. Now, you can also have a third step in this process, folks. I will tell you this 100%. Now, you packed it, you have it signed, you tested it with your signature check. Then the last thing I do is I go into my publisher, tanning and leatherworking, and then what I do is I then go to my P drive. Not my F drive. Crap. My F drive is an external SSD, so sometimes it's slow. So then I go here, and then I click on here, I click select. And when it says signatures, it says all signed. So now what I've done is I have packed it with my add-on builder. My add-on builder signed it. If I go down here, you can see that copying PPO, and then it says copying public key. That tells you it was signed. Then, if you wanted to, you can even be even more anal, and you can go to your folder itself, and you can see that this was signed with the tanning leather crafting.by sign. So you have your add-on builder, verifies it. You can do your folder. You can then go to your signature check, that verified it, and then finally, your publisher says all the signatures are signed. That's 4 add-on builder, folder. So yeah, that's 4 checks to verify your PBO is signed. I have seen people push things. So, did you just ask what a private key is for? I'm worried about you, Darkwing Tate. I'm just kidding. Um, do you actually not know what a private key is for? I'm being honest. I'm not judging you. I'm just being honest. All right. So, Darkwing Tate, a private key is the key that you use to sign in. Think of it like a master key, a skeleton key, right? Well, I'm going to use a spoon for this, by the way, folks. So, my spoon here is the master spoon, the one spoon to rule them all. If I wanted to, I could duplicate my spoon into a secondary key. Now, this key can only open the lock if the master key tells it to, right? So that's how it kind of works. So when you see buy signs inside of people's mods that they give you, that is essentially stating that that is a copy of the key that you're allowed to use, but the original proves I own that signature of that PBO. Now, mind you, you can easily unopen a PBO, you can repack it and everything else. However, there are traces of the master key left in the PBOs. This is how BI can do some really fast investigations on people repacking or whatever else. Yes, there is some form of encryption to it. I don't know how encrypted it is. But yeah. But I do know that there is some stuff to it. Now, as modders, it's really it's there. It's how you sign your PBOs and stuff, but it's not necessarily a good protector. So, like right here, I have my buy private key right there. I have a folder with all of them in it. So yeah, that's how it works. Now I need to take this. Actually, speaking of that, I also have a Total Dumpgraw Works edition, so we're gonna pack to that too. And I will actually verify that later. I unfortunately sign often in haste when trying to hit a publish time. Yep, I don't do that. As an ex-server owner, I saw so many modders push updates and just destroy my server. Now, mind you, whatever. No, you don't need to use the same private key to sign every mod. It's just you can if you wish to. I like to have individual private keys because I like it that way. It individualizes the assets or the mods myself. Not everyone does that. I know there are quite some modders who always sign with the same key. I think Dab signs with the same key all the time. I don't think there's really any benefit to signing with different keys besides maybe possible security or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, most people don't care about dragging a new key from somewhere. I've never had anyone ever complain about it. I say that, but then, watch tomorrow. I'm going to have a bunch of people complaining about it. All right. So, now that we've done that, put that back there. And let's go ahead and check out. I had some complaints about building fortifications. I use the same key now, but I used to have different keys for each mod that got me to be more work than I wanted. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, building fortifications, add-ons, pack. While that's happening, we can go to our DayZ. Go here, go to our plus plus, and we're essentially going to switch out to building fortifications. Save. And then I don't need to pack that again. All right. Your voice is your strongest tool. I feel like such a tool. Well, you know, I have a bunch of modders in here. I have Big Joe, I have Darkbeam, we have Z-Bad Mice, and who else do we have in here? We have Garrett. Um, why don't you guys post links to your guys' workshops? Network. You know? I'm more than happy with it. Okay, Big Joe, no worries. Yeah, guys, post links to your workshops. Don't be shy. I think that's always a fun thing to do. Oh no! I'll show you guys what I have. What kind of equipment I have my character start with. Because, like, you know, whatever. I think I approve it. I think you post it and then I approve it. Yeah, see? This is my testing. This is my testing gear. Isn't that cute? Okay, so what responses did what report did I get today? The other day. That was from see, Discord's being weird again. Yeah, somebody sent it to me. I forget who it was. It was this guy. Yeah, he was saying that from outside you can take the board off. Okay, so door barricade. I really don't care. I'm just gonna spawn that in. ESP tools, base building, boom. Alright, so that's all of the parts. Open and close the door. So then we go to notched plank. BF slotted plank. Now, based off of what they told me, saying it was the plates that were the issue. That let's see. Let's look at the pictures again. He was finally got around to this and can't seem to replicate work big problem. Oh, okay, guys. here's a fun little thing again. So you do is you go to your workshop. You go to your workshop. So I go home. I go to my workshop. Then I click on your files, and I go to files you posted. This is my workshop, right? And all I do is I go copy page URL. I right click, copy page URL. Boom. There's a link to my Steam workshop. Or what you can do, if you wish to make it easier for yourself, this is also another way, is you can go up to your name, click view my profile, then go to workshop items, click on that, and it'll take you to workshop 2. Again, right click, copy, right click, paste. Alright, so I need to send a video to my friend. This. There we go. Okay, no worries, Bad Mice. If you wish to share your guys' details and stuff, feel free to do that as well. But I just figured you guys would be interested in, you know, networking, whatever. Okay, so the other thing I got, and this is kind of, I've kind of agreed to it, slash, oh, I crashed. Kind of don't know if I want to do it, but, I don't know who Shifty is. I don't like it when people randomly add me on Steam. Yeah, I don't like it when people add me on Steam as friends. But yeah. I will look at, I'll find that in just a second. Somebody just added me on Steam. I just don't know who they are. Wow. I see how you are, Big Joe. Just kidding. I know, I'm just giving you shit because I can. Because I can. Okay, so one of the complaints I got was that my window barricades are too easy to see through. Now, I don't agree with them about their logic behind this. They're telling me that nobody builds my window barricades because they're too easy to see through with the 2 wood layers. And I don't agree with it because, honestly, I hate to tell you this, but, actually, I don't hate to tell you this, but... So, like, there is the window barricade. What did I do? Okay. So let's go here. Options, crosshair, fine. Got that. And we're gonna spawn in a survivor. Let's do this person. Okay, cool. So, there is that guy. Okay. So, let's go ahead and clear this. Then, game, combats, boom. Alright, and then let's get myself a AKM. So, there is the guy. I even technically have my cursor on. So, and I have my thing on there. So, okay, let's just fire at him. Now, he's probably dead. He's dead. However, as you can see, I just want to show this off. This is how many times I shot, and I can count, I think, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Upper ones are like, I think, 8. So probably like, I don't know, 10 bullets, maybe 12 bullets actually went through the slots of that. And quite a few bullets were actually stopped or changed by it. So, like, I don't know. Thank you for sacrificing yourself. So I kind of compromised with them and told them that I would add an additional 3 planks to it. So a plank from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. And that should board it up quite a bit more. I also might put one up top. But it's more based off of their server's preferences, because honestly, I'm sorry to say this, but when you build a plate, it's pretty well protected too. I mean, yeah, there's a slot there, but like, that's really hard to shoot through. Oh, actually, I might not be able to shoot it. No, I'm just messing up. No, the bullet went through it. But you see how hard it is for me to shoot through it, and I'm standing right here. Right? So, like, try to shoot that through that outside. That's difficult, right? But it doesn't matter. I'm thinking about adding in another layer. Now, the other layer, what the other layer is going to do is, yeah, I agree, it looks good. So if you add in more boards to fill from here to here, here to here, here to here, and maybe up top, you're going to lose the ability to build the metal plate, which means you're also going to lose the ability to add in a ability to open this up, right? Now, what's cool about there's a third ability to this, which is the emergency close. And you can't open this back up once it's emergency closed. The other thing I told them, which I don't think really cared about because it takes up too much, is they were complaining or they were not happy about my burlap curtain. So you put the curtain there. That's what the burlap curtain looks like. Now, what's cool about the burlap curtain is if you walk up close to it, you can see out. Right? Like, if I were to lower this, by like, say, 3. We need to go a little bit lower. 4, 9, 6. So, like, I can see out of this. However, put another survivor here. Call him Lewis. So, and then we'll get rid of that. And then, go for a, okay. So what's cool about this is I can't see in very easily. Show how you can shoot the stick to close it. Love it, bro. Do you want me to show it again, or you thought it was just cool? So, like, yeah, that's it right there. Now, I can actually see him a little bit. If I come up really close, I can see him. I can see him right there, right? But, like, if I were to switch places with someone. Let's say put this guy right here, called Survivor. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll happily pop it. I'll show it to you again, Ruger. Yeah, but if I were to come in, if I were to come in here, I can see there's somebody out there. Somebody wants to hurt me. Isn't that cool? Now, the burlap curtain, I do agree, takes too many pieces of burlap, but I thought it was a cool compromise because, like, you can build it all the way up and, like, have a really, like, full-fledged, like, base, too. So you can build that up, build this, and, like, when you open this up, you still have a really good perspective. And what's cool about this is I made it so, yeah, I made it so you can't actually access that stuff. Ooh, I think I just found an issue with my mod. That's interesting. That is interesting. You can't see anything when the thing's fully built up. Okay, you can't see anything still. That's not good. Oh, I think it's because I moved the box. That's the problem. That's the problem. I admin moved the box, so the server has to update. Let's go ahead and test this over here real quick. There it is. A couple places my own kit. Actually, one day I want to make this better. Yeah. Only see out of slot. Yeah. Why? But why would you if it was a full build up? Because you want to be able to remove and attach the curtain, even if it's fully built. I just got to make it so the curtain is only seeable. But we're gonna test it right here. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll make it so the materials, and plus you want to also you also want to be able to build things back up because you can repair my my stuff. So let's see what happens when I do this. Yeah. So you can do this actually. This is pretty cool. So like, you can have the curtain up there. Someone starts shooting at you. You can throw this on, or maybe during the day you want to be able to see clearly. But like, you know, you can do that. Yeah, so like, you know, if somebody were to like, you know, shoot your metal plate a lot, you would want to be able to attach, you know, a metal plate to it. Mind you, you can attach it if you can't see the slot, but then you can't get materials back, and that's a problem, right? So if something takes enough damage, you can repair it. So I think it has to be worn for it to take damage. But oops. And then we need nails. And there we go. All of my items are full vanilla possible. But yeah, so that's what somebody wants to do with that. I think I'll tackle that another day. I won't do this on camera unless you guys really want to see it. That's what I have to work on. Let's see. My podcast, my episode 4 highlight sucks. It's not doing very well. All right. Oh, actually, I saw in Wobo's video a cool thing I wanted to test out. Which was the blacksmithing mod. So let's go ahead and jump into here. I do eventually want to expand on my building fortifications mod. I want to add in double doors. I want to add in like garage door kind of contraptions where the metal goes upward like that. I also want to add in traps. Like one day I want to make a trap, add in traps to my mod. So let's go ahead and go somewhere where I can actually see the full range of this stuff. We'll go to the airport. Usually where I test stuff. Okay, so smelter, one way over there too. Tactical. Matchbox. Matchbox. I also make my own custom icons. I'm not sure if you guys notice it, but you know, I have my own flame icon and all that kind of stuff. You guys ever want to know how to do that? I can show you guys how to do that too. I really need to kind of stop being lazy and make some of my last. That's a glitch I need to fix one day because I actually know how to fix it now. There's my black smoke. One of these days I need to finish my tutorials that I was making a while ago. Because you know, once I finish all of my DayZ tools tutorials, I can actually move on to like real tutorials on like actually how to do this or that or this or that. But one of the things I know I struggled with was not knowing how to actually use the tools. This is actually a client side glitch. Nobody else would ever see it. Okay, so one of the things I found actually from Webos was if I go to miscellaneous, I could actually go to Where is it? Environment? Simulate script. I think this is supposed to be it. Let's see here. Gas stove. This will tell me if. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's actually stage one of me learning about stuff. So Wobo showed this the other day. If you folks don't know much about it, is that the temperature can now be seen in a radius. Technically, this cylinder is a orb. So, and then the red is the very thing of it. So when I am standing here, the temperature is 0.92, and as I get closer and closer, the temperature starts to rise. So this thing gets hotter and hotter, and it can tell you the temperature it's at now, which is 10, and the max temperature is 1,000, right? Which is 1,000 Celsius. And it tells you how much damage it, the full range of it, and the position, and the max range, right? Well, what I was hoping to do, and I was hoping I actually had these set up right, is I wanted to see the max range of this temperature, because this is at 1,600 degrees, by the way. So, if you can see this here, you can see that I'm getting hotter and hotter. But it doesn't look like it's actually functioning right now, which is a problem. Because I wanted working with my smelters to be very hot work, right? Because you're melting metal, you're melting iron. They should be hot. They should be hot work. It should not be, very cool work. I had them working for quite a while, but I don't think they're working right now. Yeah, if you folks actually wanted to see, I'll show you. Check this out. Go ahead and put my character in between the smokestacks there. Go to players, and then we'll turn off the thing. So that is my guy at 300 meters. That's 1,000 meters. So about here. I don't know what actually came first, but this is how far you can see it. It's about 1,500 meters away. You can see the smelting smoke. Now, I eventually want to make it so that smoke only rises that high, or it only rises that high when you're actually smelting ore or rocks down to metal. But I haven't done that for. I was working on it for a little bit, but I haven't done it because you have to use the particle editor. And then I had to then figure out how to tell it to switch what particle to stop and what particle to play. And I just hadn't really messed around with it for a while. But particles are fun as long as you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, particles are super dangerous. And I made it so the particle sticks around for a bit. So you would see that from a very long distance away, but then it, as you get closer and closer, it would become less and less, right? I just teleported, so like you didn't see the full breadth of it. But yeah, some cool stuff. Some cool stuff. Well, I have a little bit of time before I think of the next thing I need to work on. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to see anything? Does anybody want to know anything? Because I'm more than happy to explain anything you want to ask about. And I think the modder came first. But if you're talking about DayZ, I think the mod came first. Any new tricks with lighting? Ooh. Ooh. You have to be a little bit more specific with that. Specific. Specific. Yeah, specific. I know I need to fix. And it's something I need to fix with my blacksmithing. Didn't the modder have to make the mod in the first place? No. Did it? Or did the mod make the modder? Because without DayZ, Dean Hall wouldn't be very well known now, would he? Well, maybe he would. Who knows? Um. Sets. What was it from? I think it was from my friend Elder. Elder. Uh, let's see. Or can one be a modder without having made a mod? I would say yes because not everyone makes their mods public. Um, charcoal powder. Oh, it might be actually in my ammo making that the charcoal powder is messed up because it says that it's anti-coal. That's up to 1400. Okay, so let's go look at my ammo making. Ammo making. Let's see here. Okay. Did I push an update for this already? Let's check. Shop. Posted. Ammo making? No, not ammo making. This was back in February. Let's test it out real quick. See if the bug's still there. Let's see if it's still there. I know I'm boring. Don't worry about it, guys. Just was moving too quickly. What do you mean it's unreachable? 2 servers running? Okay, that's very weird. I think I left it running or something. I don't know. We'll find out. What the hell? What's going on? And that's what's going on. Hey, no worries, man. I can't think of most riddles. There we go. Yep. Sometimes you just gotta troubleshoot. All right. So the bug report is you can't stack my charcoal powder. So let's go ahead and go this with the 500. Yeah, I think I fixed that. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Well, folks, I think we have accomplished quite a bit today. I really appreciate everyone coming by, stopping, hanging out, and all the jazz. But I think I'm going to actually be calling it now. Uh, but thanks for watching. Remember, tomorrow is our podcast, the State of Survival podcast. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we're going to be talking about DayZ map making. I've talked to a couple people in the community, and I think we'll have a pretty fun show. But if you guys can't make it, no worries. The VOD is always up within 24 hours of the stream. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys another time.